Hey Bruce, I wanted to talk about or ask you about kind of giving the guys some rest. You mentioned after that game a little bit of fatigue with them. How do you sort of, I guess, approach that in the past? How do you sort of approach that? Does it depend on the team and how mature they are in terms of listening to them, giving them rest, knowing what they can handle? How do you just sort of navigate that when you get into February?
Part of the challenge is, Wendell playing, 36 minutes, KD playing 33 minutes, and then you get guys coming off the bench playing the teens. So how do you balance giving the guys that played heavy minutes some rest, um, and then the guys that need to go. And so there's a physical component to that. The second part of it is we got together a couple times and took a look at Georgia in the morning after breakfast, and came back in the afternoon and took a look at Arkansas normally, but we were only on the floor for an hour, which was probably at least an hour less than what we would normally go. Just to, the sun was out. It was 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It had already been a long Sunday, and I just decided we're done. We're done. And so that's how you kind of keep them fresh, both physically and mentally. And today we'll try to have a normal day before the game, knowing we went light yesterday.
Just talk.
Time yesterday, and we'll have to see about today.
Bennett Durando.
During this,
Well, and they're gonna, they'll be Bud Walton will be loud and they'll be energized, and so there are times they can really extend catches. I mean, Note is one of the leaders in steals in our conference, along with Dan Williams. And so we're going to make a lot happen. They're going to make offense out of their defense and get transition. They've got really good athletes and really good size. Like they've got like three guys that are 6'6", 220 that play 2, 3, and 4 that can guard anybody on our team 1 through 5. And so they're able to do some switching. They could put speed, quickness, and size on you. Gives them a lot of different options. So I think it's just their athleticism, their length, their size, their physical aggression, their ability to stay in front of you that make them so good. And then Jalen Williams in the back. Jalen's one of the best rebounders in the league. He's a really good shot blocker, and he takes more charges than anybody else in the country. He's taken like 30 charges. So if you go in there and float, you're going to be on the floor, and that's a really good play. It's a better play than a block shot because it ends the possession, and there's no 50-50 ball chasing that block shot down. So it's a very, very effective way of protecting the rim.
Go to Mark Murphy next.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about your Jalen Williams and Devin. Are those guys about ready to have a breakout offensive game? If they could, what would it mean to you?
Well, what they need to do is continue to have breakout games defensively and rebounding with their effort and their energy. And then if it comes around where there's some open shots and some opportunities, just try to make them at a good percentage. We don't really need those. We don't need anybody to have breakout offensive games. We need everybody to be, efficient and shoot a good percentage. And a lot of times it's the matchups. A lot of times it's the opponent, the defense, that will determine on any given night So certainly it helps when guys are able to do those things. Jalen Williams is such a good example of a guy that can score inside and out. And of course, our offense would be better if we would make some more open shots. We've not shot it very well from 3, and that could become an issue for us.
Go to Bob Holt.
Hey, Bruce, how you doing?
Good, Bob. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, Alan Flanigan, I know he missed games early and he's back in the starting line. Just wondering how he's doing, how he's playing for you, what kind of season he's having.
Well, Bob, last year, he and Jalen Williams were our 2 best players, along with when we had Sharif Cooper. And I asked Al to do everything. And now that 2 things have happened. One, a freshman and 4 transfers have really, provided great talent and depth to our roster. And then Allen misses 3 months with an Achilles injury that required surgery. And so, he's every day getting more and more comfortable, but he's still not back to last season's form yet. And so that just sort of just continues to take time. But we're better with him on the floor. He provides me with great versatility as an offensive play caller to put him in ball screens and get him downhill and let him be a playmaker. And it's another offensive weapon that the opponent's got to account for. And then, when he's healthy, he's as good a defensive big guard as there is. And that's coming.
And then you alluded to the atmosphere at Walton Arena. This is kind of hard to believe. Arkansas hadn't had a #1 team come in here since Vegas and at Barnhill in '91. So obviously the players are ready, the fans are ready. Just kind of what do you expect? Because I know you're getting everybody's best shot now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm very proud of the fact that it's Auburn. That it could be Kentucky, it could be Florida, it could be Tennessee, it could be other programs, but it's Auburn coming in. That's ranked 1, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of it for our league. If Arkansas came in us #1, be proud of Arkansas for what they been able to do. And obviously, hey, I'm proud of them right now for having won 8 in a row and come back from a slow start in late December and January, and having beaten West Virginia in the Big 12 SEC Challenge. So, proud of our league, and I'm proud of my team.
Thanks.
Justin Ferguson.
Bruce, we talked about it a little bit after the game on Saturday, but Jabari only having 7 shots. You said you weren't kind of quite sure what was going on there. What have you seen from him in the last couple of days, I guess, since the game? And we've seen him bounce back from quiet games in the past. What have you seen from him?
Well,
Since that?
just very much going about his routine. Very much the same. If he had a better coach, he'd get more shots, but he's got to overcome me. And so we the thing of love about him would be that's on me that he only got 7 shots, as opposed to, let's say he got 27 shots and shot a bad percentage, and so his job is to take and make good shots. And my job is to get him more of those. And I obviously not doing a very good job of it.
Got a follow up from Justin Hokanson.
Hey, Bruce, I was just going to ask about the question earlier. Are there different teams in the past that have handled being able to sort of scale it back in practice, but still be ready for game time? I mean, what do you think goes into making a team be able to kind of handle that change, I guess?
The thing I reminded them of even yesterday is it's a long season for everyone. When you play Tuesday, Saturday, which we've been playing, the kids get Wednesday off, but we don't. And it's, we're going 6 days, the kids are going 6 days a week. And so it's and then when you stop and think that we've been going since May, and the kids work so hard in their training, that's what makes it being a long season. So at some point, you got to catch your wind, and you got to catch that second wind. And I think the way you do that is by changing it up a little bit.
Scotty Bordelin.
Yeah. Hey, Bruce, you mentioned JD Note earlier. I'm wondering if you could expound on what you see out of him as a player, maybe what makes him unique in this league.
Well, I remember seeing him in high school when I was watching Ashton Hagens at Newton. And man, he was very, very special talent. And I actually told a bunch of people about him. We weren't recruiting his position. And then so watching him, become, probably he's as good an offensive guard as there is in the league. That doesn't mean he don't play defense, because he does. But he is a great scorer. And he could do it at the rim. He could do it from three. He could do it on his own. He could do it coming off of screens. He could do it on transition. He could catch and stick. A lot of guys need the bounce. He could do it off the stick. Does got a great shot fake game. He's handsy defensively. So he's a great player. He's a first team all-leaguer.
Coach, you have time for two more. We'll go to Tom Green first.
Hey, Bruce, I know before the season you talked about you never had a front court this big and this long as, Jabari and Walker. 23 games in now, just what's it been like having a front court, not just that big, but that talented?
Well, I mean, it's great. It allows you to protect the rim defensively. The fact that they both have got inside, outside abilities, has been one of the things that has helped us be offensively efficient. They're both unselfish. They're both good passers. I'd like to, again, see them. They're both great in ball screen offense. Probably the area that we're not as good at, and we don't, they haven't been asked to be as dominant in, is just a low post game. And again, that's on me, and also on our team too. The ability to pass the ball to the post in advantage, disadvantage, is way more difficult than what it looks like. Guys open, but it's not always easy to get it in there to them. And then the other thing about that too is, the way the game is called, it's very physical inside, and they let a lot go. There's a lot of contact in them. They let a lot of it go. So they let it go on a catch. They let it go on a move. They let it go on a shot. So then sometimes it's not always a high percentage look. But we could do a better job of throwing it in there, and they could do a better job of seeing.
We're going to finish up with a question from Tobias Wilborn.
Hey, Bruce, how's it going today, man?
Saving the best for last, Tobias.
Hey, I like it. That's a good attitude, man. I love it. Speaking of attitudes, when in your career have you had a situation of adversity when it comes to maybe people speculating about your future? And if so, how did you handle those moments?
Oh gosh, when you're in coaching, it's kind of like The Godfather, when Hyman Roth said, "This is the profession we've chosen," and so we chose the profession because we wanted to teach, and we wanted to be around young people, make a difference in their lives. People don't actually choose coaching or teaching, for many other reasons. And then, if you wind up getting good at it, maybe there's an opportunity to coach at the higher levels. And then all of a sudden it becomes financially a successful, a great profession. But, I chose to coach, and, for 45 years, we didn't live in a big house, and we lived paycheck to paycheck because I was an assistant coach. I was a Division II coach. I was a mid-major coach, and all my college friends and all my peers, they were all able to take care of their families way better than I was financially. So we do this because we want to make a difference in young people's lives. We want to give back, love our campuses and our universities and our communities. But we also understand the pressures that go with the position.
All right, Coach, we appreciate it.
Thank you.